Sorry. I'm just like, what are you doing? What is going on? And at first I was like, oh, she must be depressed because we've been depressed. And then, but it's like, I'm not really depressed anymore and things are going really well. Why is she acting like this? I don't know. I'm going to get a pet psychic. Will you get my phone?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to look up a pet psychic. I'm serious.
This is just need iron or calcium or something.
I'm totally looking up a pet psychic. I'm gonna find out what is the deal.
That's such a wild
statement.
statement.
After this is some fucking pumpkin pie.
Huh?
After this episode, I'm gonna eat some pumpkin pie.
You should.
Y'all got pumpkin pie? Can I see?
Goddamn now. Or so help goddamn me.
I'm cleaning my ice cream out of my mustache still.
Yeah, that was really good. Not your mustache, but your mustaches look good, but the flavor of ice cream.
Yeah. Mustache is all right. It accents the beard well. I went to the bank earlier today, and my friend works at it, and I'm slowly making everyone at that bank fall in love with me.
Good.
There's a new teller, and
Wait, is the bank
apparently
open on Sunday?
after I left. Yeah, it's open from 9 to 2, something like that, but only the one branch in Weymouth. And after I had left, the new teller was talking to my friend saying, oh my god, your friend is so cute. When does he come back? Shit like that. And I'm just like, why is everyone falling in love with me there?
Return up the Mac. Return up the Mac.
Oh my god.
Well, I just went
that's my favorite part.
Oh my god. $100 bills instead of 20s and shit like that. Tell her to step up her game.
All right, I found this chick. She seems pretty legit. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Can I see?
Can I see? Wow,
Jesus
I
Christ.
love her.
She looks pretty legit.
Let me
full
see.
force image. I love it.
She also did a Photoshop.
Wait, can I see?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
She also did an overly stylized picture.
Wow.
I'm really that's
I think that's her Tinder profile too.
Oh wow, she's got this.
Ooh, what's that? Oh,
It's a Buddha statue with some tarot cards scattered around it.
Nice. Cred. Nice.
Does that help with the pet psychic stuff?
I mean, it has to, right?
Yeah,
I don't understand the stuff.
This is
branding.
This is the psychic, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at her reviews.
Just munching into the microphone.
She is just chewing into the microphone, but she's acting out, and I need to figure out.
The episode?
I think I'm okay with it.
I need to figure out.
It's record the intro and paste in the beginning.
Pretty much. I mean, but what a great start to the episode. Psychic pets. No, psychic pet readers.
I'm just
Pet
looking for.
psychics.
I like psychic pets.
No, she's an
This
animal
dog
communicator.
knows all of my dark secrets.
Psychic detective.
I
pets.
mean, as a pet psychic, I bet she likes it rough.
Oh!
Hey!
Woof.
Nailed it.
Well, she was listed for an animal communicator, but I think she just does human communicating.
I mean, that's technically animal, but
Does she know I'm an animal?
Ooh, Catnip Manor.
Wait, is that where she works?
No, this is a different place.
Oh, it's I guess.
But
Come meet me
I
at the
wonder
corner
if
of
they're
Catnip
just
Manor.
cats.
I work at Catnip Manor.
I wonder if they're just cats, though. I want to see.
What if it's just the Pussycat Dolls? Remember that band?
Mm-hmm. Do I remember that band?
Was like me, don't you?
Pushing up my buttons, babe.
I forgot they had 2 songs.
Only two.
Oh, she communicates with cats, dogs, horses, birds, and other wildlife.
Other wildlife. Damn.
I can't imagine any. Oh man, I don't get it.
Holy
each their
shit! So if I make an appointment, I can have her meet Domino, or I can send a photo of Domino with her birthday, and I will receive a written description of my pet's needs and issues and a 20-minute phone consultation.
You don't even have to leave the house. This woman is a goddamn genius.
She doesn't even need to meet the dog.
You guys, it's $40 per pet. I'm gonna do it. She's got testimonials too. Oh, and they're written from the perspective of the animal.
Oh my God.
Listen, hi everyone. Our human companion, Laura, brought us to see Phoebe at the shop where she works, and we had a great time letting her know things about us, and including some of our special needs and desires. I am Sweet Pea. I know I would be described as big boned, but I think myself as petite. Old Bear is annoying in his twilight years, being pushed around in his personal stroller, enjoying all the treats he wants. Thanks, Phoebe.
So, I'm gonna say, spend your money how you want. If it sounds like a scam, but if it could be worth the joke, just to be like, what the fuck is she gonna say about this?
I really want to know.
Domino is chewing on something in the background.
Yes, she got a bone.
In a pile of socks. That's going to be the best I can do to drown out the sound. That is the absolute
That is
best.
very fair. I was not sure if it was something that seemed significant or not because there was clothing there.
Oh, no, but I appreciate you looking out, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take her to meet this pet psychic that also rescues cats.
Please give us a review on that.
I will, but she's acting out, so I want to know what's up. And if she's full of shit,
Domino or the lady?
The lady.
Okay. Maybe that's why Domino's been acting up. She's full of shit.
Maybe she could be constipated. No, she pooped.
She's been pooping.
Did she poop at our last walk? She didn't poop in this one.
No, she didn't. Oh, damn. So she hasn't pooped since this morning.
Yeah. So maybe she is constipated.
Maybe Jay's a pet psychic.
Jay.
New career choice.
Are you a pet psychic?
Side
Holy
gig.
shit.
I mean,
With each consultation, you'll get this frame that changes pictures of Jay. So whenever you feel lost or alone, you'll always seek guidance with Jay looking over your shoulder, looking out for you and your hairy loved ones. Call today.
For $40, I'll give you a consultation, and for an extra $10, I'll dress up like your pet.
That's hella creepy. I'll pay you not to.
Oh my god.
That would be funny to me also. Just somebody like, I am living the life of Domino right now. Just treat me as if you would her. I need to live in your home for at least a week.
Like the pets freak out.
They do like the face paint and everything, and
like the animals,
like Domino has the underbite, so they just like put their jaw forward for the week, just like. I'm hungry. I need to poop. Is Andrew still here? I like that guy.
Oh my god, it's like a one-man show like Jay as Domino.
The listener,
It's
anyone
scary
listening
how
to this is just gonna be like,
accurate
we
he
don't
is,
have the visual.
Yeah.
It's scary how accurate you are, though.
I do like to do impressions. I just don't know how accurate I actually am with a lot of them.
I think you should do pet impressions. You were pretty accurate with Domino just now.
No, that's hilarious. Or like doing celebrities, like, here's Sean Connery as a schnauzer. And it's just the same thing. I have to poop.
Oh, yes. I thought the weather outside was quite rough. Rough.
I took a shit in your sheets.
Where's your cat, Pussy Galore?
All right. All right.
Welcome
We've been
to
doing
the
this for
Multiverse,
fucking 13
where this
minutes.
episode is out of fucking control.
Yeah.
This is such a silly one.
Yep, as it should be. So I'm just gonna dive on in, get this party started.
What kind of dive are you going to do, though? Like a double half twin?
Apparently, I was just channeling Kennedy.
Apparently, you were.
Let's get this party started.
Well, I'm thinking the triple Lindy, like Rodney Dangerfield in that college movie.
Oh, was it Back to School?
Yeah, probably.
Guys, already out the gate, I'm not liking where this is going.
Redo.
I don't want to talk about this. I do not want to talk about Rodney Dangerfield or Back to School.
Okay, and...
Restart.
Yep. Shake it out. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Multiverse. I'm your host, Paul, joined with Angela.
Hi.
Chandler.
Hello.
And Jay.
Hello.
And Domino, who is chewing a bone in the background.
In a pile of socks. So, audience, or Chris, or Mom, who's ever listening, this is the best we could do under the circumstances. It's better than her chewing the bone into the microphone. Pile of socks, it'll absorb some of the sound. But, I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling holly jolly because it's December 15th. We're almost to Christmas. And...
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah. Well, working in retail will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one more gift to get and then I'm done. And, like, I've got one more holiday party as well. And then I'll be all set with that. And
we luckily avoided the holiday parties this year.
We did.
Yeah.
No holiday parties.
We're not going anywhere.
No.
We are gonna spend Christmas with my mom, but like
that's low key.
That's
though.
and she's up the street, so it's not like.
And that's like your mom, your stepdad, and Chris.
Yeah.
And I think Derek's parents.
For dinner.
Okay, so yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Low key.
Yeah, and plus I'm gonna be exhausted, so.
Very fair.
Because
I'll be going to dinner with my parents and opening gifts at their place and talking to my brother and sister-in-law over Skype through my mother's phone, which is very awkward. And it's funny because, like, somehow my mother manages to do Skype old lady face in person.
Oh.
Where it's like they put their chin really
just
far back.
like that.
Oh god, she usually gets up in your face. Is this on? I'm right here, Mom.
Hi, honey. It's so good to see you.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. Just the up the nose video.
I
can't see you. Flip your screen.
I think when my parents first did Skype with one of my sisters, they came up as like animal faces and the mouths would move and they were like, "What's happening?" They were so upset.
Man.
God, we love parents.
Old people in technology.
Don't go together.
It's very silly.
Yeah.
How about you, Chandler?
I'm going to be working and making that sweet holiday pay.
Hell yeah.
Do you guys have any like rules like of how many days you have to work up until Christmas?
No, we just have like kind of like a valid these are days that are available for holiday pay and you can like opt in to work those days.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we have straight up blackout dates where you cannot take vacation during any of that time. And it's usually from Thanksgiving to Christmas. From Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Really
and because I'm a manager, I have to work the 6 days leading up. So.
Sorry.
So you're going to be quite exhausted, as you previously stated.
Yeah. But it's nice because I do get to see my favorite pet parents, and I do have a woman driving down from Vail to get her dog groomed by me, which makes me feel really, like, kind of badass.
And yeah, for those who don't know, Vail is like a drive.
Yeah, it's like a 4-hour drive.
I only know Vicky Vale.
Well, if Vicky Vale was driving
as well as I thought it was going.
No.
I get it. It's a comic book podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
From the first Batman movie, right?
Yep. Played by Kim
She was
Basinger.
the reporter going after Batman.
Yeah.
So, should we do ghost stories?
I'm down.
Sure.
So, do you want to explain it to our listeners why we would like to do ghost stories?
Well, the reason why, first of all, this was your idea.
It was.
And I think it was brilliant.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm not forcing you guys to do it, am I?
No.
Because I know I can be very strong like that.
No.
Strong-willed.
Listen, we're not afraid. We just value our lives. No.
You just want to live.
Yeah. No, because telling ghost stories is actually pretty... it's like a very Christmas tradition. Like in the holiday classic, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, where they sing, there'll be tales of ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. So yeah, Christmas stories, ghost stories, it's great. It's Halloween Part 2. But yeah, it's an ancient tradition.
It was more of a tradition too before
the Christians ruined it.
Well, before it became like about, gifts and toys, which is, I feel like, more in the last decade. What am I talking about? It was like in the last century, it became
commercialized.
More about the kids. I think it was like the 50s. Usually when everything became like kid-centric. But up until that point, I mean, I think even like in early America, like the 1600s, like Christmas wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was a thing, but it wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm just kind of reading, just due to some brief research here. There's actually an article about this on the Smithsonian.com. And it just kind of brings us some interesting points about how... Christmas as celebrated in Europe and the U.S. was originally connected to the pagan winter solstice celebration and the festival known as Yule. The darkest day of the year was seen by many as a time when the dead would have particularly good access to the living. Religious studies professor Justin Daniels told Omna, a University of Pennsylvania. So yeah, that makes sense. The days being mad short, long dark days.
So Christmas originally was like Cinco de Mayo?
What?
The Day of Death or whatever for
that's
Mexican holiday?
No. Cinco de Mayo is...
what is it?
Is very different from...
Yeah, De los Muertos.
Yeah.
Oh, De los Muertos. Okay, my bad.
Cinco de Mayo is
I haven't watched Coco in a while.
Cinco de Mayo is the day when you drink till you're dead.
The
5th of
May.
May.
Those confused. Yeah.
Yeah, where just basically white America appropriates Mexican culture in the worst ways possible. Still, yeah.
And we'll do that with any holiday we can.
That's Cinco de Mayo, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, ghost stories.
So it's all about ghost stories that are super creepy and bring us together.
And if you're actually looking for some cool ghost stories, there's an excellent book called Hark the Herald Angels Scream. And it's got a lot of pretty cool modern Christmas-themed ghost stories in there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I think it's a really cool tradition. I think especially for people who dread this time of the year.
People who work in customer service or retail or anyone in the service industry.
Pretty much.
That. But human beings in a Western civilization.
Well, I think there's also this huge emphasis on being with family and getting things for for people and the consumerism. I think that's why there's so much love for Halloween, because it doesn't tap into any of that. And so I think if you can't be with loved ones or just don't buy into it, or if your family are fucking demons
and really just toxic, then
I would say kind of embracing the ghostiness of it. I mean, look at Krampus.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that tradition.
Krampus, I feel like America needs Krampus because coal is not a consequence. Coal isn't a consequence. It's not a consequence. Being thrown into a basket and dragged into the underworld, that's a consequence. By a hoofed Christmas demon, that's a real consequence.
Half goat, half demon.
5-year-old me would completely disagree. Coal was definitely a consequence because I got coal in my stocking when I was 5.
What?
And I cried.
You're like the only person I know.
So,
here's a good ghost story.
I used to tell like lies and stuff like that a lot. I'd be like, "Oh, the sky's purple" for whatever reason, just bullshit stuff. Or like, "Oh, my brother's hitting me," and like it was just me hitting myself because I wanted to get him in trouble.
Wow.
Just stupid shit like that. So it was like appropriate that I got coal. But so this is a fun story actually. I come out on top. So I get coal in my stocking. My parents wrote a letter that I couldn't read because I couldn't like read yet for the most part.
You couldn't read when you were 5?
Like,
sounds like your parents need coal.
I couldn't read when I was 5.
I'm kidding.
Don't shame him.
Don't literacy shame
So they
him.
wrote a letter that was just like, "Dear Jay, if you continue this behavior of like continuing to lie, then it's going to be more than just coal in your stocking next year. You'll get no more presents." Some bullshit like that. And my parents videotaped it because they had just gotten a recorder for it. So the tape exists somewhere. Fast forward a little bit after I crying, like I'm upset because I didn't get anything in my stocking. We go to my family Christmas party. And this is information I got later on. Like half of it is information I got later on. So everyone's like, "Oh, Jay, what'd you get for Christmas this year?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got cold in my stocking." Like, "Oh, no, you're such a good boy, though. Santa must have made a mistake. Like, there must be something wrong." And they'd look over at my parents with the shittiest look, like, "You fucking assholes." And, like, everyone would just asking me, like, "What are you getting for Christmas?" Or "What'd you get for Christmas?" And I'd say I got cold to everyone. And everyone would just give me praise afterwards. And so by the end of the night, it went from I got cold in my stocking to I got coal in my stocking. Because everyone just told me how awesome I am.
See? There it is, right there. Coal is not a consequence.
So wait,
you just proved my point. You just proved my point.
It was a consequence.
Coal is not a consequence.
I wanted toys.
You ended the story with "I came out on top."
I ended up coming out on top, but like it's still a consequence.
No, I think being a
So you got nothing from your parents that year.
No, I got
She
like
got an ass
regular
whooping.
toys, but I got coal in my stocking.
Oh, so nothing, just
and my brother
Santa.
got all sorts of other cool stuff, and Santa Claus left a letter threatening to if I didn't change my ways, that I would only get coal. And I didn't realize it back then is that my father got a bag of coal that was already open for some reason, and I did not put 2 and 2 together.
Well, you're 5.
Yeah, I mean, just saying.
I wouldn't have put it together either.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, I'm not a detective like that.
No,
Not
at
at
5. No, good lord, no. Damn, I used to be afraid of getting coal though.
Me too.
Like just being like, "Fuck, I wouldn't know what to do with it."
I think I gave it to my dad to use because he already had the bag of.
I was weird. Like my parents gave me coal, but I came out on top because I took a shit in their bed.
Yeah, that's.
I mean-
Yeah, no, I think America needs Krampus.
Krampus.
The movie was only all right though.
It was.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was only all right. It would. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I could use more Krampus movies. That, and I wish he looked more like a demon goat than
It was
a
like
weird old man.
Well, I thought it was a demon like wearing a Santa face.
Eh.
Well, that's really creepy.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
like,
it was very uncomfortable.
well, because there's like a close up where like you see like it's like the skin sags and there's like something else underneath.
Oh.
Fuck that.
It's pretty creepy, and I think he still has like the elongated jaw with the tongue out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's still real creepy looking. I don't want to meet Krampus. That'd suck.
Fuck that. Yeah, puts you in a sack, drags you to hell.
Yeah.
They should just teach both. Instead of coal, just be like, yeah, if you don't behave, then you're gonna like get put into a sack and you get dragged to hell.
Yeah.
A potato sack specifically, right?
Some images, it's like a basket. It's like a
Yeah.
woven
Is it?
basket.
Yeah, but I guess this dude's like a Central European folklore.
Mm-hmm.
I just like just to imagine that he's German because I just think just German accents are scary anyway.
I am the Krampus.
Yeah.
Well, they have the Krampus festival, don't they?
Yeah. Krampus for the rest of us.
Yeah, I just remember I saw a video of that recently where like they have a parade with people like with spinning fire and all sorts of cool shit. Krampus is metal.
Yeah, Krampus is very metal.
I'd love to go to a Krampus festival. It'd be great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I feel like we need Krampus.
All right, so what are some ghost stories?
I was actually trying to look up like other like creepy like traditions, like if there was like apparently in Wales there's the tradition of parading a horse skull, Guatemala burning devils, South Africa don't eat Santa's cookies. Oh, they keep the kids from nibbling on Santa's cookies. Parents tell children a story about a boy named Danny who ate all of Santa's cookies and really angered his grandmother. In her rage, she killed him, and now their ghosts haunt houses during Christmas time.
Oh, okay. That's...
Damn!
All right. That's a thing.
I remember the story with the kid whose birthday was on Christmas, and he thought the gifts were always for him. And, like, he like, wrote Santa a list of things he wanted, and his name happened to be the name of a town, and, like, Santa gave all the gifts that he wanted to all the kids in the town and spread all the joy, and, like, he was like, but I still want my gifts. And Santa was like, I mean, that's not real cool, but, you know.
Damn.
You guys remember that?
No.
Little redhead kid?
Wait.
It was a cartoon movie.
Redhead kid. What was it?
Annie?
And he had a bunch of toys?
Yeah. He would constantly be given, like, all the toys. But his birthday happened to fall on Christmas, so he thought everyone was celebrating his birthday. And then when he found out that everyone wasn't celebrating his birthday, he asked Santa for the world, pretty much.
Damn.
Not ringing a bell.
Yeah, no, I never saw that.
He realizes that giving to others is a good deed, and he grows up, and, like, each year he goes on with Santa to deliver the gifts to other people.
Oh, that sounds like the town that Santa forgot, which was, like... Yeah, like there was a news story. Yeah, because this kid had a bunch of toys, and like Santa didn't give him shit, and then like Santa there's like a news report about like how this like one town didn't like get any toys, so he like gives all of his toys to the town, and then maybe I don't know. That's also featured a redhead kid, and it was narrated by Dick Van Dyke.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas is like a cool, like spooky Christmas story.
Yes, it is.
Which I've only seen for the first time, I think, like a year or two ago.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
So
Yeah,
did it live up to the hype?
I thought it was awesome. It was like, really like whimsical and like
yeah,
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Towards like the
dude, you know what?
oh,
sorry.
When the kids like got their presents, that was like horrifying.
Oh yeah. No, you know what I loved was when I found out that the composer Danny Elfman, you know, who like did this like the Batman soundtrack and Beetlejuice, he is the singing voice for Jack Skellington.
That's so nice. That's so cool.
Yeah, and then when you listen to, because he was in a band called was it Oingo Boingo? So when you listen to any of their songs, like it just sounds like it's Jack Skellington.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's Krampus with a baby.
There's also kind
Krampus is,
yeah. Ain't nobody fuck with Krampus. Apparently, though, in the Ukraine, there's like a tradition of like having decorations of spider webs in trees. There are decorated with artificial spider webs and decorative spiders. The unusual tradition is a nod to a tale where a mythical spider wove a web around the plane tree of a poor family. When morning came, the white strands turned into precious metals, and the family was rich. The webs today symbolize prosperity for the next year.
Oh, that's lovely.
I guess not that creepy.
That's
but
lovely.
I don't know. I think any type of fucking giant spider thing, I would be a little creeped out by.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna
giant spiders are creepy.
Yeah.
If there's promise of gems at the end of it, like I don't know.
Maybe
I could sleep through it, you know.
Right.
I'll just sleep through it. Just put on my eye mask.
Yeah.
Put on my headphones. Wait till morning.
So do you guys have any ghost stories or any creepy stories
Sure.
to share?
I have tons.
No.
Mine happened on New Year's.
Close enough.
That's close enough.
That's applicable, I would
That
say.
is good. Yeah. Yeah. Mine, I don't think happened around Christmas.
Well, how about this? Change some of the details
Okay.
to make it Christmas.
Okay. All right. I can do that. So,
I sound like jingle bells just in the background.
So one of my dad's like friends, and I don't think she liked me very much, but she gave me, for some reason, like I was like 15. She gave me this weird like tchotchke, and it was like this purple like blob, and it had these long legs, and it like just stood there. And I thought it was like, at first when I saw it, I thought it was like, oh, is this some weird like modern art? I was like, it's crappy. But she's like, no, look, and she turned it on, and it made this like really annoying sound that was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I was like, okay, this is dumb. So I turned it off. But I just like had it. I just like had it sitting in my room. And it was like on my dresser, just like chilling there because I didn't know what to do with it. Oh, thank you. Putting some jingle bells in the background. And we were living in this condo in the South End. We were right across the street from the cathedral. And we had these really high ceilings, and so next to my bed there was like I had this really tall rectangular window that would go up to the ceiling, and so the light from the church would come in through my window, and whatever. So I was sleeping one night, and I'm woken up by the sound of this toy going ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 like over and over. And I was like, okay. And I opened my eyes and it stopped. And I was like, is it broken? And I look up and there is a figure in the top corner of my room, like at the window, looking down over me. And I was like, okay. I'm like, so... My mom saw a ghost once, she told me, and what she did was she moved and it disappeared. So I'm going to move and maybe it'll disappear. So I shifted and I look up and it's still there. And now I'm like, I do this big like yawn stretch, like, ugh, and like roll over, and I open my eyes and I look up and it's still there. And I'm just like, and I'm rolling around and it's like still there. And then I'm like staring at it, and then the toy starts going off again. But here's the thing. It starts getting louder and louder. And it doesn't have a volume on it, okay? It just starts getting louder and louder. So I fling the covers off, and I'm screaming, and I fling the covers off, and I run to my mom and my stepdad's room. Now, they just heard me like coming into the room. I burst open the door. I'm like, oh my god, there's a ghost in my room, and they get up and they're like, what the fuck? And of course they take it seriously because I don't do stuff like that. And so my stepdad is like in his underwear, and my mom's in her like adorable little cotton pajamas, and they turn on the bathroom light that like kind of trickles in through the living room into my bedroom. And they're like, what? And my stepdad's kind of going, okay, let me see this. And he goes in, and he's like his eyes are all kind of jacked up from the light and stuff, but I can still see just fine. And we go into my room, and it's still there. And
so I saw it too.
I can see it. But Derek, my mom won't come into the room. She's like standing in the kitchen. She's like standing in the dining room, just kind of like, partially in the living room.
Just like, Derek, you handle it.
Well, Derek, yeah. And so he goes in and he's like, I'm like, it's right there. And he's like kind of trying to look at it, and he's like, ah. And so he walks, and mind you, he's in his underwear the entire time. And he walks around my bed to get a closer look at it. And I see its outline like turns to the side, like it's following him. It's like watching him come towards it. And I go, no. I'm like, stop moving. I was like, it's looking right at you. And he goes, and he stops. And he's like, okay. And he like throws his arms off, and we go out of my room, and they just like laid down like some blankets on their floor, and I just slept on their floor, and we just totaled up for their bed, and they were like, we'll deal with this in the morning. And then the morning after, I go in and it's gone. It's not there. But my stepdad swears, he said, I couldn't see it because the light, it kind of just fucked with my vision. He's like, but when I walked around that bed before you said to stop, and it was freezing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah. So,
Whoa.
yeah. And then, a few days went by, and I didn't want to sleep in my room, and I didn't want to be there, and I tried to crash at my friend's house, but her mom wouldn't let me. And and I was talking on the phone with her, and I had a bathroom attached to my bedroom. It was a really nice little place. And I was in the bathroom and just talking to her on the phone, and then I was out in my bedroom just listening to music. And I'm telling her about what happened, and I'm starting to get creeped out. And I feel like I can hear whispering, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just freaking myself out. So I go into the living room, and I sit down, and in the TV was off, but in the reflection of the TV, you could see me sitting on the couch, and then you could see the dining room table, and sitting in one of the chairs was a little boy, and he's just swinging his feet. And I was like, oh my God. And so my friend starts screaming because I tell her what I see. It's there's a little boy in the chair. She starts screaming on the phone, and my mom was like, what the fuck are you screaming about? And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, oh my God, this needs to stop. She's like, I don't know what you need to do, but it needs to stop. So I read up online that you have to command it to leave you alone. And so I did. I went into my bedroom and I was like, listen, I don't know what you are. I don't give a shit if you're here, but you can't freak me out like this. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear you. I don't care if you're here, but just leave me alone. And then after that, nothing happened.
Wow. That's so
creepy.
scary.
It was really scary.
Now, the way we
scary.
put a Christmas twist on this is that the figure was actually an elf on a shelf.
Well, they say, I mean, when I talk to other people about it who are spiritualists and into that stuff, they say that you were right next to a church, so there are probably spirits coming in and out constantly. So they were probably just and because you were sensitive to that stuff, they're just drawn there and just kind of were just curious. It's okay, what's this chick about? But yeah.
Wow.
Some people are more sensitive to ghost stuff than others.
No, thank you.
I kind of get that because I'm sensitive to ragweed, and every fall, oof, I just itchy red eyes, sore throat. It's scary.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, who's up next?
So, I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before or not. Maybe it was on our old one or old version of this, whatever. So it was 2004 or 2005, something like that. I know I was in junior high, and it was New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. I'm sleeping at my neighbor's house, and he has multiple phones in his house with different lines. He has a bedroom phone, so that way when he signed into AOL.com, it wouldn't take out the regular phone.
Oh.
And he had a cell phone also. And
wow, he's a fancy kid.
I think it was 5 of us sleeping over his house that night. And we're all laughing, having a good time. Somebody just got sack-whacked because that was the thing to do back in the day. And we were just ah ha 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 ha.
What's that? It's a nut check?
Yeah, nut check. Somebody got slapped in the testicles. And we were all just giggling about it.
Was it the left one or the right one, or both?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't the one that got hit.
Well, that's good. Look at you.
So I'm laughing. Everyone's laughing except for the person that got hit. And all of a sudden I think it's 12:13 a.m., 12:14 a.m., something like that. He gets a phone call on his cell phone. And he's like, everyone, shush, shush, shush. quiet down, I'm getting a call. So he flips open his phone, and like it's dead silent in the room, and he just goes, hello, and I can hear the phone, and all it is just like,
Happy New Year.
Ah!
and then just, and it cuts out. He's just like, hello? Hello, who the fuck is this? Hello?
That's
And
great.
it hangs up. And he looks at his cell phone, and he sees that it's the phone number to his bedroom. So we're just like, what the fuck? Where's your phone? Where's your phone right now? And so we start searching his bedroom as best we can. It sounded like a little girl's voice. That's a Happy New Year. I don't know if I did a good impression or not because my voice is
Wait, it was only the two of you?
deeper. No, it was 7 of us.
Oh, wow, okay.
6 or 7 of us. I can't recall the exact number. I heard it and he was the one on the phone, so like I was witness to it and I heard the little girl.
Wow.
So I don't know if I did a good impression there because my voice is considerably deeper than when I was like 12 years old. And we're searching the room, and one of us finds his bedroom phone underneath his bed, under the mattress.
Ugh.
Yeah. And then like we just
So
kept
the bed made the phone
joking.
call.
Well, no. How did it get
Or
under the
creepy-
mattress?
Was like a prank, hopefully?
I'm hoping it was like a.
I mean,
it called
I
from
can't
his
imagine-
phone.
It
Who
came
is
from his
phone?
phone in his bedroom.
Wait, so
Where
he
we
was
all
using the
were.
phone already and he heard the voice? And then,
He was
like,
using his cell phone and he got
Okay.
a phone call from his bedroom phone
while the phone was, like, in the room you
underneath
guys
the
were...
bed
Wow.
in the room that we were in.
And it was just
and,
you
like-
guys in the room, or was it like 7 people in the room?
Like it was all 5 of us in the room.
Okay, I'm hoping it's
And
a
he just
prank and not
he,
real. Like
he
one of them
looked at
like
me
did
and
that.
was like, "Dude, did you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah." What the fuck was? Like, could somebody have tapped in? Was that someone else? Like, what was it? And I don't recall specifically or not, but I want to say that he tried to call the phone, but it was dead underneath his bed because it was a cordless
Wow.
and the batteries weren't charged.
So the phone was dead.
Maybe like picked up on someone's
Yes.
feedback or something from another phone somewhere.
So the phone's, I've been dead for 7 years.
I mean, we can
I'm
try
trying
to
to like
apply
rationalize
logic to
it.
it, but like,
Yeah, I'm trying to like
Right.
have to do that.
I will
To sleep
say,
at
though-
you
night.
can try to, but like, there's nothing
when
else.
you said it was like
it
where
could have been.
the call was coming from, I immediately got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's really
Right.
upsetting.
I still get goosebumps telling the story for the most part, and like us being dickheads, we kept making jokes about it, and we like gave her a name, and it was just
Right.
like, oh yeah, little Annabelle's like in the hallway waiting for us to like leave this room so that way she can attack us.
Right.
Watching you
And
pee.
like I just didn't. I was freaking myself out more than anyone else, but I was coming up with the most bullshit.
Yeah.
So I definitely got what I deserved.
you like hyped
I didn't fall
yourself up.
asleep
I got
until
scared.
like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I didn't leave until like the sun was up, and I only got like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah, I feel bad for
sketchy.
the kid, though, after everybody leaves. Because one thing when that shit happens and there's like 7 of you, but then when it's just you, it's like, no, it's cool, I'll be fine on my own. You guys want to stay
Yeah, that's the
for
only-
like did lunch and supper and move in?
It's the only ghost experience that I can recall having.
Damn.
My father has some too that he's like told me throughout his like about his youth and things like that, but that's,
And my dad too.
Yeah. My dad grew up in Dorchester, and apparently he lived in a haunted house where like he heard thumping and like somebody turned on his TV while he was downstairs and he saw the reflection of the TV in the mirror.
Yeah,
I was
those
like, I
are
want to
haunted.
watch the fucking game. I want to
He's
see
only
how the
one that
Bruins are
apparently, like,
doing.
slept on a rock outside of his house, some shit like that.
Jesus. How about you, Chandler? You got
But,
any good
yeah.
ones?
No, I don't have any ghost stories because I don't attract ghosts. Thankfully,
Sorry.
I don't think.
I
they
think,
do
I think,
that,
it's, I think it's
but-
jinxed myself.
Probably.
I mean,
I was gonna say the
I
phone call's coming from
occasionally
that kid's
feel-
bedroom. It's
I
just an
occasionally
alarm.
feel as if there's something in the room with me, but I also just try to ignore it because I'm pretty sure that's how. Like, as soon as you start acknowledging a ghost and like trying to interact with it, that's when things get more and more complex.
I
Like,
do get
never
sleep
fuck with a
paralysis,
Ouija
which
board.
freaks me out.
Oh, that is scary.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, that's like a personal hell ghost story.
Yeah, do you want to tell us about it? Your personal hell?
No, it's just like, you're conscious, but like you can't move. But you actually don't really know if you're actually dreaming or not. It's like you're like some weird like fugue state. I don't really know.
Kind of like limbo.
Yeah.
Half awake, half asleep.
Right.
Yeah. That's no fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I slept at my parents' house a couple weeks ago, and like I woke up not knowing where I was after having a nightmare.
Oh, I hate that.
Out.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
I don't really have a lot of ghost encounters. I think like Chandler. I just haven't had too much. Although I will say though, I had something that I thought was scary happen to me. So every year, my Uncle Tommy has like a shindig at his house every Christmas Eve. And there was this one year, for whatever reason, it got like delayed. We either did it on Christmas or the day after Christmas. So I had already gotten my gifts. And I want to say this was probably 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. And I remember I got this really awesome, like, Freddy Krueger figure. It was big. Like, it was like, I don't know. And it would have a motion sensor. So every time he walked by, it would go like, "Hey, no running in the hallway." He would laugh. I loved it. So later on that night, I am driving home with my friend Sean, and we're just like making each other laugh. We're just telling stupid jokes, and somehow it gets into like ghost story territory, and just like telling each other like ghost stories, and like whenever like ghost stories like gets told, like my like I don't know if it's like my anxiety, but I'm just like more like hyper aware and like jumpy, and
makes you anxious.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
and we were driving through like the fucking woods. It was like the longest goddamn ride, but I didn't mind because I was having fun. And I remember like telling ghost stories, like, and we were like driving through the woods, and like and my buddy Sean had some really fucking creepy stories where I was just like, wow, I can't wait for the sun to come up. Like, this driving through the woods thing is not really feeling it anymore. So I get to my house, and the door's open, like, which is usually locked, so it's open. And there was like, and apparently like,
who were you living with?
I was living with. So here's the thing about my house. You ever seen Fight Club?
Yeah.
Remember Paper Street, the Paper Street house that he lived in with Brad Pitt? Mm-hmm. Like chunks of wall. It's kind of like that. So it's like, looks like a haunted house on a good day. And so my dad was on the first. It was like a 3-decker, like you see them everywhere in Southie and Dorchester. My dad was on the first floor, and my grandmother had a second and third unit that was linked by staircase. And I remember like thinking it was weird that like, okay, the door is open, and there was like a little light on in this hallway. And it was like you would walk in, and immediately on your left was the door to my dad's apartment. At the end of this little hall was like a closet, and like this staircase that went up to the second floor. And so I remember like we had this lamp on like a little table that lit up the hallways. I remember going up the stairs, and nobody was home yet. Like my grandmother didn't get back and my dad was back. I was the first to get back and the doors open. So I just remember climbing up the stairs, like ascending into the dark, and like the lights weren't working on the second floor. And I remember like fumbling my way up to like my room. And again, this is an old ass fucking house. Like stairs creak, doors creak. I'm making my way up the second flight of stairs, and on the second staircase, we actually had like a what do you call it? Like a sky view?
Mm-hmm. A skylight.
Skylight. So I remember just looking up on the second set of stairs now. It's just like pale blue light like coming in, so I could like kind of see the stairs, And so I remember like going up the stairs, and I'm like super fucking anxious. And I get to my room, open the door, and again, old fucking house, so it's like, when I walk in and all of a sudden all I hear is, "Hey, no running in the hallway," and the brick that came out of my asshole like I think I had like an out of body experience, because imagine like driving through fucking dark woods telling ghost stories. Your fucking house doors open, 2 flights of stairs, you know what I mean? So to be greeted with fucking, hey, no running in the hallway. Like,
That'd be creepy.
I jumped, like, I think I had like a Scooby-Doo moment where like I jumped, like convulsed in like midair while my feet were doing like the fucking spinny wheels where you can't go anywhere, and was like, ah! You know, and I was like, fuck this. I was like, fuck this fucking toy. Fuck Christmas, like, and I turned off the motion sensor. And I remember, like, when, like, when we had to, like, downsize, like, you know, trying to, like, make room in the house, where I was like, that was the first fucking thing to go. Like, that that forever changed.
Did you ever figure out why the door was open?
No. I mean,
to rationalize, you could say somebody just accidentally left it open.
I mean, it could be, it could be a number of things. I mean, it's winter. If my grandmother didn't lock it and the wind knocked it ajar. But I mean, like, nothing was stolen. We all survived. Nobody was in there. But yeah, just like, so yeah, not really a ghost story, but that's like, I think the scariest thing that happened to me around Christmas.
That's really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this, fuck you. Why did I get a new pair of underwear for Christmas? Because I could use some right now.
So, do we have time for one more?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so this is kind of like a two-parter. This is the most scared I think I've ever been with an encounter. So I was dating one of my exes, Jeremiah, and we had like just kind of really started like getting together and stuff, and so
spooky.
Yeah, so I was like, here's the thing, he lived in East Boston, and this is like 2004, maybe?
Scariest year.
No, the winter
in the scariest part of town.
Like the winter of 2003 to 2004, and I think this is after Christmas, but before New Year's. So, it's winter. I'm like going to East Boston after work to like just like hook up with him and stay at his house. And you know, and it's East Boston, so it's sketchy as all hell. I hated that walk from the train station to his apartment. And cuz like you would see like a shit ton of blood in the snow, but like no body. Like it was just really sketchy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd meet you.
Yeah, so yeah, no. This is, come on, it's Jeremiah. Come on. So I would go and like, yeah, so we there's this big snowstorm that was coming. So we had like stocked up on all this stuff, like just crap, you know, like taquitos, like Jose Olay, like taquitos, and like just, you know, crap that you do, you know, you just stock them in like pudding, like a bunch of pudding cups, like snack packs and stuff. And so,
like, I don't want to cook food.
Yeah, I don't want to cook food. Let's just get like a bunch of like just shitty like shit just to eat while we get snowed in. And so we came back, we picked up a bunch of stuff and we came back in, and there was this smell in the hallway. And I don't know if you guys have ever like had like a dead animal in the house or something like that, like a mouse or something.
I have that.
But death has a very distinct smell. And
yes.
It's like garbage, but like
Axe body spray and farts.
No, it's like
like rotting meat.
It smells like trash, but like dialed up to like 20. Yeah, like rotting meat.
Yeah.
And it just so there was a smell, and I was like, did somebody like leave their trash in here or something? It was just a smell, and we couldn't figure it out. And so we go into his apartment. And he had like a really shitty apartment. Like there were 3 bedrooms, but in order to get to his room, you had to go through one of the other 2 bedrooms.
Oh God!
So his roommates hated me, and so we go in and we go and the smell's gone, and we go into his bedroom, and he has like a furnace in there. So we take off our shoes, and I can smell it again. Sorry, yawned. I can smell it again. I was like, oh, it was like a whiff, like real quick. And I was like, oh, I thought I smelled it over here. I was like, I wonder if like something died or something. He's like, or someone. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, because I mean, the idea of somebody like ODing in that building and just like not being found, totally reasonable. So I was like, well, you need to call your landlord just to make sure, because if somebody's dead, like somebody, you know, they should probably do something about it. So we like stay up, and then by the time we go to sleep, I wake up at like 3 a.m. I have to pee. So I go through his roommate's room while his roommate's sleeping, and I tiptoe to the bathroom and I pee, and I come back in and I lay down, and I feel like there is something in the corner, like by the furnace. I don't see anything, but I feel like I'm being watched. And I'm like, you know what? If somebody died in this building, I don't want that energy. I don't want it. I'm good. I was like, I'm just going to ignore it. And I was trying to go back to sleep, and Jeremiah shoots up, gets out of bed, turns on the TV, and just starts playing video games. Like, it was like he was like wide awake. And I'm like, what? He's like, just go back to sleep. It's cool. Go back to sleep. It's cool. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go back to sleep. And then the following morning, he tells me that he heard me get up and go to the bathroom, and he could hear outside, like somebody was yelling, like, hey, like outside, like somebody was calling somebody, like, hey, you know, but like he heard it like outside, but he couldn't figure out like, okay, what direction it was coming from, but he said it was outside. And then I came back in and like was settling down, and I was sleeping because I got into bed, so I was like against the wall, and he was like on the outside of the bed, and he heard it again. And as his brain was putting together, oh, it's like somebody like right outside down the street just yelling at somebody like, hey, right by his ear, like somebody had just like knelt down next to him. It just went, hey. And it was like a man's voice going, hey. And he sat up and was like, what the fuck? And there was nobody there, so he just got up, turned on the TV, and just started playing video games to like take his mind off of it, because he was so freaked out by it. Whoa. And so we were like, holy shit. It's like, you need to call the landlord. So we got dressed to like go out, and we're outside, and the landlord's already there. And he's like pulling like trash bags out, and we're like, hey, and the smell is like really there. And he's like, hey, so we have been smelling this since like last night, and I don't know if you want to check like any of the units upstairs, but like this is, he's like, no, it's fine. It's okay. I've gotten a call, but I think it's just trash. It's nothing. It's fine. But he was very like standoffish, like, oh, about it. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to know.
He's hiding something.
I don't want to know. So then we go to his mom's, and his mom lived in Rhode Island, and she wanted us to like house sit for like a week. And so in my like 19-year-old brain, I'm just like, sweet, I'm gonna have sex all week, this will be great. In Rhode Island, I don't know, when you're 19 your standards are really low, so
when you're 28 they're still low.
So we go to Rhode Island, and he was saying how like, yeah, he's like, my mom said like, you know, the whole house is ours, just don't like sleep in the master bedroom. And I was like, oh, I was like, why, is it her room? And he's like, yeah, it's her room. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, but she wants us to sleep in this room. And he opened the door, and it's like the creepiest, like the walls were like robin's egg, like blue, and there was like a clown doll, and it's like this little twin bed. And I was like, I am not sleeping in here. He's like, no, me neither. We're not. He's like, come on, let's go into the master bedroom. So we go into the master bedroom, and it's freezing in there. It's like super cold, and everything's like deep purple. Like that was the color scheme that she went with. I don't know. She's French. I don't know. So that was the color scheme. And so of course, what do? We have sex in that room. That's like the first thing we do. And so as we're falling asleep, like, and I really have to preface this by saying like I hadn't been to sleep yet. I know what sleep paralysis is, and it's when you wake up in the middle of a deep sleep and your body hasn't caught up with your brain, and so you're like partially paralyzed. A lot of people say they feel like a pressure on their body or they have like a hallucination. You know, it's a thing. I hadn't gone to sleep yet. And I felt like somebody had kneeled onto my chest, like with their full body, and it pressed me into the bed, and I couldn't move. The only thing I could move was my right ring finger, and I'm like lightly tapping Jeremiah because that's all I could do, and I was gasping for air. I couldn't breathe, and I was like paralyzed, and this thing was crushing me, and I was like, like I couldn't breathe, and then it like got off of me. And I rolled over and I was like shaking and I was like, Jeremiah, I couldn't breathe. And he just pulls an arm over me and he goes, I love you. And just like goes to sleep. Aww. And I was like, okay. Well, again, classic Jeremiah, the next morning, he says, yeah, so as we were falling asleep, I saw a black mass over the bed. And I was like, oh, and he goes, yeah. And my head was like, go away. And it disappeared. And then I thought, oh man, what if that didn't work? And it showed up again, and then it just immersed itself into the bed. And then a few seconds later, you rolled over saying you couldn't breathe. He's like, I was freaked out. I didn't want to think about it. So I just like didn't say anything and that. And so we like didn't sleep in that room for the rest of the trip. I saw some other like weird little things, but it's not like a big deal. It's not like, but at the end of the trip, his mom was like, oh, how are you guys doing? Did I leave you guys enough food? Like, she's really sweet. And then she goes, you didn't sleep in the master bedroom, did you? And he was like, yeah, why? And he's like, because of the ghost. And she's like, there's a ghost. Say that before? She's like, there's a ghost. And she's like, I think it's the old lady that lived there before we did, but that's her room. And apparently she and her husband at the time didn't even sleep in that room. They slept in the futon in the basement.
Wow.
Well, that's creepy.
Yeah. So.
Is that the second part?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Damn.
I didn't know that's what
that's a very long story,
was.
but
that was
a two-parter. That was a two-parter of like that was the only time I was like actively like petrified because nothing had ever. The first one? Nothing ever touched me. No, we don't know. I think somebody died. I think somebody OD'd in that building and like of like a heroin overdose or something, and they died and had been dead for a while. And I think that it was reaching out to us because we were the ones that were like, "What's that smell? Where's that coming from?" And it was like reaching out to be like, "Hey, I'm here," you know. And so it was saying, "Hey" to Jeremiah. It was telling him, I'm here. And it latched onto us because we're looking for it. And that's why kids, boys and girls, don't ever go looking for it. Just don't. Don't go looking for it. Yeah. Ignore it. It doesn't exist. You put on
interact with it.
You put on your white man pants and you ignore it. You ignore it like it doesn't exist.
I remember one time when I was sleeping over my ex-girlfriend's house for one of the first couple times, like, I woke up hyperventilating. That was weird.
Do you have sleep apnea?
Is that what sleep paralysis is?
No.
Well,
okay.
While Angela was telling that story, I did remember, I don't know if this counts as an encounter, but I do have a story.
Ooh.
So, once upon a time, in my youth, back when I was a young, nerdy stallion,
young buck.
Thanks, Jay. I was a tour guide at the Old North Church.
Oh my God.
Now, the Old North Church, for those who don't know, it's a very historic landmark in Boston. It's part of the Freedom Trail. It's the oldest standing church building in the city. That also has a crypt below it. About 1,100 bodies are known to be underneath. But the big claim to fame was, the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. That's the church where the two lanterns were lit. Now, in the summertime, very, very busy, like chaotically busy. The fall, even worse, because all the leaf peepers are coming in off the cruise ships. And
leaf peepers.
That's what we call them.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah. But as you can imagine, it was like right after Halloween. Like once November 1st hits, like it's dead. It's a ghost town. And it's a great, I mean, it's kind of a bummer because your hours go down, but it's a lot more relaxing. So a lot of times and you would work by yourself, like that's how slow it would be. You would go from a team of like 4 or 6 people down to 1 person. So imagine, this is, I actually think that's actually did take place sometime around December, because, you're in this big building by yourself. 1, 2 occasional tourists come in, and I would just kind of just be reading a book or a comic, whatever, just hanging out. It was kind of nice. Cold as hell because it's impossible to heat a building of that size and of that age. So, but it never bothered me if I had to close by myself, knowing that like there was a crypt below. Like it never ever bothered me. If anything, I was always worried about like not doing something right, making sure all the power was off. So what I used to do. What I was trained to do was that you would kind of start from the back of the building and work your way out. So go downstairs first, make sure all the lights are off inside the crypt. No problem. There's also a crematorium down there. Make sure all the lights are off and down there. Work your way back up. Break room is turned off. Like little vicar's station is turned off. And again, you work your way back. And in the back of the church is like a little... kind of like a little electrical tower where you would turn off like the lights and the microphone. So when you turn off all the lights, imagine like and this is right next to the altar. Turn off all the lights and the entire building just fades to black, and you have to walk from the back of the church all the way through the front door. Turn it off, light it, and everything. But again, I've done this countless of times, so not a big deal for me. So, walking through the dark of the church, get to the back, you kind of close these 2 big wooden doors, make sure they're locked. And once you do that, there's a light switch next to the door that leads into the tower of the church. Oh my god, that just scared the shit out of me. Did you hear that?
What is that?
What the hell?
What?
What?
Nobody can hear that?
No. I hear the jingle bells.
Oh no, Paul.
Jesus Christ.
He clicked his I guess he must have clicked something and his iTunes started playing and it was like a creepy like
Yeah, I'll play it for you guys.
It's really bad.
Just look up the song Rats by Ghost. That's what started playing. But anyway, because I was getting to the part.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. So I'm trying to find iTunes a picture of Jimmy Stewart. I'm like, that's not it. So I get to the back of the church, and shut the doors, about to turn off the lights, and like all of a sudden I just hear, Paul, and I had my backpack over my right shoulder. I remember really feeling it like slide off my shoulder, down my arm, onto the floor, and next thing you know, I'm outside in the street. And my eyes are watery, like just like teary-eyed, and like just kind of like wiping the tears away and just being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like that was fucking scary. And I'm thinking it's got to be something to do with the acoustics, maybe something outside, a car driving by. Very odd though that it like I heard my name like Paul, like as if like somebody's mouth was like right up against my ear.
Nope.
And I remember thinking, it's okay. I'll just lock the door and go home. And then I realized, though, that my backpack is still in there. And I, like, dropped it right where I was standing, right where I heard the voice. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I started thinking, is it worth it? Like, can I go a night without the stuff that's in there? And I'm thinking, but, like, I got, like, some books in there, like, my keys. I can't even, like, leave, like... So I remember, just working up the nerve to, ran back in, picked up my backpack, flipped the lights, punch in the code to alarm the building, lock the door, and I, hightailed it out of there. But...
That's the right response.
Yeah, but again, was it a ghost? My imagination? I don't know. But just the fact that it's an old fucking building, again, oldest standing church building in Boston, and there's known 1,100 bodies below.
Yeah. Another PSA, boys and girls at home listening. If anything says your name, don't go, who is it? Yeah, don't respond. Ignore it. Ignore it. Put on your white man pants like we talked about before, and you ignore it.
Or if it was my dad.
If you hear a knock knock, it's still don't go who's there.
Nope, don't go who's there. You do not acknowledge it.
But no,
do not.
But I'm thinking if that was my dad, if someone was like, Paul, he'd be like, what? The fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And the ghost would be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. You don't want to give it any power, because if you pay attention to it, it gives it power.
Yep. That's very true.
This is your holiday survival
As
guide.
best you can.
Yes, your holiday survival guide.
Ooh.
If you hear a
All this talk is making me think
disembodied
of a
voice,
nightmare I
don't
had when I was a
acknowledge
kid.
it. What's that, Jay?
All this ghost talk is making me think of like some nightmares I had as a kid and whatnot.
Oh,
like,
boy.
There was one time I had a nightmare about the troll from Ernest Scared Stupid. He had like kidnapped me and stuff like that, and he took away my voice, and I couldn't speak or anything like that, and I was like shaking in tears. And all of a sudden he just went like, speak. And I tried to yell out help, and I like, as I was like, ha! And I woke up as I was mid saying help and just like crying. I went to my parents' bed and they comforted me.
And they gave
That's
you cold.
rough.
And
I've heard
Yeah.
Chandler having night terrors.
Oh, that shit's
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
scary.
That was a great time. Yeah. For context, I was spending the night at Angela and Paul's place, and I just had like a random nightmare. It was back when I was like kind of like I think 10 years old, and I shared a room with my brother, and we were both like sleeping, and I woke up, and my brother was still sleeping, but like the door to our bedroom opens, and just two tigers just saunter in, like, they like get ready to like pounce, and I'm just like no, and like yeah, I was doing it in real life while I was sleeping.
Yeah, he was
But
on
it
our
wasn't saying
couch,
no. I was like,
and he was like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, Chandler woke me up, and it scared the shit out of me. And Angela's awake, and I was like, "Oh, is he okay?" And he's like, "He's fine. He's dreaming."
I
But
laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed.
It's scary.
It's hilarious.
Because Chandler's got a deep voice. She's like, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
He's like, it's like just. It was
Yeah.
crazy. I was imagining this
As
like
I tried to tell my brother to like wake up, Chris wake up, and like he just like wouldn't get up because he's a heavy sleeper in real life. So yeah,
right.
not helpful.
And of course, there's me laughing. Like,
Am I suffering?
Oh god, I
just
was
remember
suffering
it,
too because that shit was freaking me out. Not how I want to wake up in the middle of the night.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I thought it was funny.
I just love like the like just definitely. I'm like, is he talking to somebody?
It was so
Like
loud.
clear,
Yeah, tigers.
like declarative statements.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. So
I'll say in general, there are places that I'll go through where like I'll feel something in my stomach and I'll like get all tight and queasy and whatnot, and I'll just try to ignore it until it goes away, and I'm just like, all right, hopefully that's not a ghost. Peace out.
Yep. That's what you do.
bitches.
Appropriate
Peace, bitches.
response.
Yes. So, just remember this holiday season, it's not always just all fun and games and jingle bells.
Until someone wants your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And don't fuck with a Ouija board, even if you get it for Christmas.
Oh.
Do not touch those things. The Parker brothers do not have access to the other side. Just
How
don't
to
do
play
it.
with a Ouija board, like unwrapped gift, place in trash.
Yep.
Do
Don't
not.
even unwrap it, just place it in the trash.
Just
place it
maybe
in the
even just dip it
trash.
in some holy water. Just to have a trash can filled with holy water. Well, yeah. So, you're welcome, loyal fans.
Chris.
Hope you survive until next year.
Yeah. As always, y'all
And
know
what
the
if
drill.
what if Santa was a ghost?
Who says he isn't?
Oh.
Somebody waits for you, kisses once for me.
Oh God, that song just got really scary now.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Oh no.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the greatest time of year. I don't know the rest of the words, or else I'd keep going.
Oh boy. Well, on that note,
right.
Instagram,
We did
Twitter, Facebook, drop us some love. Don't give your ghost your power. Give us the power by leaving us a nice review or some stars.
Let us feed on you.
Let's feed on you.
We'll haunt you in all the best ways.
Right. And as always, have a happy. Well, we'll probably get one more episode before the holiday. But hey, whatever you're celebrating, enjoy it. As long as with living people.